Hello, everyone. Can you hear me? I hope so. Okay. Should be fine. Still waiting for Manan. Okay. Don't worry, everyone. We're just having some technical issues with the mic. Probably we will choose another platform if we can't fix the issue.
Sembra che tinha um menino chatão na sua sala.
Yep. Hello.
Oh,
Finally.
hi. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Discord has something against me. I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, sure, no problem. That just happened. So, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well.
We're-
Yep, really excited for this, and thanks for inviting me.
Thanks for joining us, really, because we're going to bring up a really fascinating topic. Uh, because,
Yep, really, yeah.
sure. Would you mind to tell a bit about yourself, about your background, and how did you get into ocean and all these things?
Sure. So, I completed my bachelor's in engineering in 2011, and then I joined Tata Consultancy Services as a tech consultant. This was in Mumbai, in India. Working with TCS gave me opportunities to help multinational corporations like Cisco in Vodafone in telecom sector, then Deutsche Börse in finance, GE Power in energy, and then I joined Talent, which is a big data company, and then eventually moved to Porsche to help them set up their IoT infrastructure for their new electric vehicle lineup. And it was this time actually when I started investing in crypto and understanding the blockchain space. And I think the year was 2016 and 17. Though I was familiar with Bitcoin in late 2011, but it was it was the time that actually, I did not understood the tech aspect of blockchain, and I started paying deeper attention in 2016 and 17. Uh, then I think in 2018, with 2018, I joined Ocean Protocol because I was fascinated by the value proposition that Ocean Protocol provided, right? Creating a new data economy, and which I was always a believer in. And right now, I'm very much involved in the space through my role of growth accelerator with Bitcoin.
That's huge. And when you entered the blockchain industry in 2016, what was like your path? I mean, what did you firstly think about Bitcoin and the industry itself?
So in 2000, I think 2010, 2011, I was a bit naive. So yeah, I actually thought that Bitcoin was cool, right, as a cool innovation, the internet money, right?
Yeah.
But at that time, I was, I did not thought through about like possible implication and possible use cases and benefits to the community and to the society, right? But yeah, it was already a very good innovation in my opinion at that time. But now it's like this is another ball game, and it's not just cryptocurrency that's like
Mm-hmm.
holds the promise to change the basic foundation of the society.
Yeah, but back then, I mean, what did you think about it? It's just like a some sort of web money, or like the web money.
Yeah. Actually, actually around 2011, I tried to mine some Bitcoin, using the computer network in my university, and I actually got successful in mining some of them, which I don't have today, actually, unfortunately, right? Uh, but yeah, that I thought at that time that this was really cool innovation, right? And this money, which is not controlled by anyone, which is run by a group of people, because at that time a Bitcoin community was very small.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but now I mean, the world is growing to accept the cryptocurrency as the new standard, and which is very nice to see.
Yeah, sure. And um, you've got a quite wide developers and engineers background, especially in data
Mhm.
science. But I'm just curious whether are you familiar with the security? I mean, the cybersecurity.
Mhm. So I specifically did not work on security aspect of the software development, but yeah, I'm definitely familiar with public key cryptography, RSA, elliptical curves that actually secures blockchain like Bitcoin and Ethereum, and of course the web standards, which is SSL and ESR. But actually, in our Ocean team, our Ocean core developers has a variety of competencies in the security aspect of it. So I think it's always beneficial to work alongside people you can learn from.
Yeah, of course. So, getting to this data marketplaces industry, I mean, as far as I know, there are not much of them, and nevertheless, the landscape is quite competitive. So, would you share some insights about how data marketplaces compete with each other nowadays?
Let me first go on the traditional model of the data marketplaces. So traditionally, data marketplaces has been competing based on the exclusivity of the data, right? I mean, which one has the more data sets that consumer can't find on other marketplaces, right? I call them like traditional siloed marketplaces. I mean, of course, this is their business model and it's cool, but this also creates like a disadvantage of lots of data being locked among these marketplaces and not everyone getting access to all the data they want, right? But the data marketplace is built on Ocean Protocol can have access to all the data sets registered on Ocean Protocol if it is enabled by the data provider. This means data marketplaces built on Ocean can have an immediate access to a large amount of data due to the network effects that's created by Ocean Protocol. Now the question says, okay, now if every marketplace is built on Ocean Protocol can access all the data that's on Ocean Protocol, how can they create an environment of competition? Actually, there are many multiple fronts that they can leverage to create this competitive environment. Like some of them are like data offerings, right? What quality of the data is being offered? Then data specialization, right? Even if I get access to like thousands of data sets, I might not want to display all of them on my marketplace. I want to be probably marketplace of IoT devices, right? So some specifications, specialization. Then the user experience. Of course, I mean, if your marketplace can onboard the normal Web 2.0, Web 3 agnostic users, you have a chance of large mass adoption, right? Where you can compete with other marketplaces. A similar example can be seen in traditional stock exchanges, or let's say traditional crypto exchanges right now, right? There are many, but few of them has a better advantage or better competitive landscape than the others. Then how user onboarding, right? So how easy is it to onboard new users onto your marketplace? This is very important for mass adoption as well. So there are many fronts that can be that
Yeah.
the marketplace can leverage to be competitive.
You just mentioned that it's important to know like the origin of data that's offered on the marketplace, right? So, for example, if we are talking about some collaborations with, I mean, if we're talking about the data collected from the IoT devices, for example, uh, it's crucial, right, to have the understanding of how exactly this data was collected and have this some sort of database that allows you to understand the exact lock of the device and make sure that this data set is a high quality.
Correct. So you're talking about the data provenance, right?
Yeah.
Like the origin of the data and how many hands the data has been exchanged, and which also defines like the quality of data, of course, because the data has been like traded multiple times, or let's say downloaded multiple times. That signifies that the data is of high quality, right? So in Ocean Protocol, we have something called data tokens, which is basically a smart ERC20 tokens. So whenever a dataset enters Ocean Protocol ecosystem, each of these dataset is assigned a unique data token, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, whenever a consumer purchases a data token, they have an option. Either they can use the data token to redeem the dataset, meaning consuming the dataset, or they can, if they decide, okay, they might need a data, but they don't need now, so they can sell it or into like other marketplaces like Uniswap or Balancer or let's say Aave, for example, lending platforms, right?
And
Let's
and
say
the
this ERC20.
and the exact data token allows you to have a right to have an ownership of this exact data set, or what exactly it gives you?
Not exactly the ownership, because the ownership remains always with the data provider, but each data token basically signifies the right to access the data set, right?
Uh-huh.
So it is the basic utility of the data token is the right to access. So if I like a data set right now, so there are multiple ways to use a data token, right? So let's say Robonomics is publishing the data on Ocean, right? And probably Robonomics has a very low market cap and it's not like has gone super famous yet. So what I can do, I can purchase. I know that the quality of the data published from Robonomics would be high quality, right? And then I can go and purchase the data token associated with the data set from Robonomics. I can sit over that, right? And in the future, when the market realizes the quality of the data set, of course, the price of the data set will appreciate, right? And then I can choose to sell it or redeem the data sets, right? If I sell it, I'll make profit on it. If I redeem it, I'll still get access to the high quality data set.
Gotcha. Really amazing concept. I think there is a lot of food for thoughts for our listeners. So, getting back to this, traditional world and how it interacts with Web3. I'm really curious about what are the most significant legal challenges for the data marketplace that that's living in the Web3 industry.
So for current data landscape, right, there are many data marketplaces, but they suffer from a lot of multiple limitations, mostly emerging due to the legal and regulatory compliances, right? The problem this creates is multifold. Biggest one is this discourage the data providers to monetize their valuable data, right? When data providers don't put out their data to monetize, the data available in the market is limited, right? And this creates a lose-lose situation for everyone. With Web3, I mean, especially with Ocean Protocol technology, right? We help these marketplaces to be compliant to regulators. How? Well, we have compute to data technology, which basically enables the data providers to keep their data privacy, right? This data being the private data, they keep the data privacy while allowing compute to data on the data without leaving the data premises, right? So the data never leaves the premises, but the compute is brought to the data.
So you mean you can like store different data sets privately in Ocean Protocol, and for example sell it to someone who is willing to feed some ML algorithms, right?
Right. So even more important, so Ocean Protocol promotes the data ownership, right? What it means that Ocean Protocol does not hold your data. We are non-custodial, right? So you always keep your data, but what you provide to Ocean Protocol is the metadata. This is the data about the data. If you take a traditional example, when you are a seller on Amazon.com, you want to provide a description, some specification and properties about your item that you want to sell on Amazon.com. Same way, you will provide this type of metadata about the data, what the data is about, what is the parameters,
Yeah.
how many data points are available, what is the size of the data, what is the format, is it like CSV, is it like JSON format, right? Is the data updated regularly? So all this information you will provide to Ocean Protocol, but you will not provide the data itself. You will provide the location of the data, which is encrypted before storing in our metadata storage. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's clear. It's really clear. And so what if someone will sell the data after the original purchase? I mean, if that's a malicious person who bought a data set or access to it, and then he resells it on the second market, is it fine?
So there are two ways to see this, right? First is if the person purchasing the data set is selling the data token, then of course it is absolutely fine because that person has still not redeemed the data token, and probably the person does not something else came up and they don't want to use the data. So of course we want to give them an option to resell in a secondary market, right? The second one, the second, let's say, issue that you are talking about here is probably related to the data privacy, data piracy, right? That
Yeah,
someone
exactly.
downloaded the data and they upload it to some torrent or
Yeah.
somewhere else. Yep. So for that, so we have two. Right now, we want to actually provide many services, but right now we have two services. One is the access service, which allows people to download the data, and the other is a compute service, which allows people to use the data for their AI algorithm, but without giving access to the data, right? So if you think your data is sensitive and has private information of users, your emails or something like that, you would choose the compute service. You would not choose the access service, right? But if the data is not sensitive, if it's some insight generated out of an aggregation of other data or a public data, right? Some value adds on the public data, you might as well just go with the access service, because as soon as the data is bought and data is public, it loses the value in the first place.
That's great that you are separating them and grouping into two different directions. Sounds really fair. So, Ocean is the macro protocol, and would it be fruitful to provide your clients with access to data stored in Robonomics?
Yes, of course. I mean, our goal with Ocean Market is to build a portfolio of diversified data offering, right? We want to be Amazon of data. So we want to provide a platform, a market where user does not have to go out anywhere to, for their data needs. One platform to get all your data needs.
Yeah,
And
but
of
but
course,
but
we want to.
you won't be an Amazon because you won't have ownership of that data. I mean, it won't be stored on your servers physically, right?
Correct, correct. And so let me rephrase this: that we want to be a better version of Amazon, without which allows people the data ownership, and which is a non-custodial data provider. But yes, coming back to the answer, definitely. I mean, we love to have Robonomics data.
That's good to know. Someone in the YouTube chats says Ocean and Robonomics is a match made in heaven. So as far as I know, you are planning to enter the Polkadot ecosystem, right? So what are your plans for Kusama?
Well, we have already announced that we'll be working with Moonbeam to deploy our Ocean smart contracts and Ocean Market on the Kusama network. What this means is our Ocean Market will be available as a dApp on the parachain, right? This helps with all the advantage of the performance, lower cost, and greater accessibility for people that want to use Ocean Market and dip their toes into data economy.
Do I understand it correctly? So your um, core repositories and the core logic will stay on Ethereum, right?
No, so so Ocean, our vision with Ocean is to be a multi-chain protocol, right?
Yeah.
Now the cool thing about Ethereum, or let's say the parachains, is they allow the EVM-based contracts, right, to be available on the Polkadot network, right? So Moonbeam enables that. It means that people will be able to move their Ocean tokens and the data tokens around the network, around both the networks, right? And we'll able to play with that. So it's not that we want to be Ethereum focused. So we are not maximalist in any case, right? We want to be available in all the chain that has proper, let's say, proper value proposition for our community, right? And which makes feasibility.
That's
Which
that's really good to know because Robonomics shares this vision, and it's going to be multi-chain protocol. I mean, multi-chain solution platform as well.
that's some good thinking.
Yeah,
Saying.
it's really great to know that you guys are also joining party in Kusama.
Mhm.
So, what's your opinion on the future of the blockchain industry? How will it evolve, especially when the Polkadot will launch and deliver?
Mhm. Well, I personally think that blockchain and crypto is here to stay, right? It has a super bright future, and we are still in early days of growth, right? The next 10 years will be phenomenal. So what we'll see is significant improvement in UX.
10 years in crypto, that's like 100 years, like a
Exactly, exactly.
century.
But in next 10 years, actually, your mom will be, transferring you some, you know, cryptocurrencies, without knowing how to use it or what works behind the scenes. So it will be that simple, that simple, right? So I mean, most of the backend infrastructure will be powered by blockchain, and the great part is user will not realize it because the user experience will be great.
And what about the? Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay, I got it. So maybe let's answer a few questions from the chat. I'm just let me go through Discord and make sure that no one asked there something. Yep. Okay. So let's go to the YouTube. In the YouTube, um, Suryatija is asking, are you guys looking into partnership with DeepMind?
With DeepMind.
Yep.
Well, so we want to partner with a lot of AI providers, but that's really not in the near term, right? In the near term, we want to be multi-chain focused and allowing people to, solve the problem of the gas fees.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, to answer the question, yes, that would be in a long-term vision, definitely. That's something to aim for, right?
Yeah, and also, uh, I mean, you've got like a really huge engineering and data engineering background, and probably a wide product management vision as well. And I'm just, you know, what do you think about about the future in those 10 years, and the possibilities of monetizing data collected by robotics?
So I think the growth in the data, AI, IoT, and crypto will go hand in hand, right? So I'm saying 10 years to be more on a conservative side, but it might not be 10 years as well, as you mentioned, right? 10 years is like 100 years in crypto,
Yeah,
right? So it
I,
might
I
be
really
much
I really
later.
guess that it can blow the industrial automation industry. I mean the robotics, and after that, after robotics will enter that. I mean, it will be possible to monetize, assembly the data. How does the process look like? And then after that, it will be possible to share it with the whole world by monetizing the concepts of assembly, or this automated assembly, right?
Mhm. So the way I see it is definitely the IoT industry really needs some way of monetization because there is a growing army of robots working out there, right? And if these robots can fuel themselves and be self-independent in terms of monetization, that solves a lot of problem for the IoT industry, right? And we will see a lot of let's say developments in this space in the coming years once one of the big players unlocks this puzzle, right? So what we have is the technology, right? What we have is a way. It's just about the growth and adoption. So yeah, we'll see this coming in like even not in next 10 years, much sooner than that.
Our audience is getting warmer, and now Andromeda asks, how long do you think it will take before big tech will adopt these options?
Come again?
How long do you think it will take before big tech companies, I guess, like corporations, will adopt Web3 option? I guess that's what he meant.
Well, it's already started. So if you see in AWS, they are offering an Ethereum node right now, right? Just click one button and you can run an Ethereum node right now on AWS services.
Yeah.
And same is happening with Microsoft and Google, right? On the terms of, so this is a tooling part, right? On terms of like DeFi or let's say decentralized AI services, I think the DeFi will be the one that's going to pick up sooner than later. And then once that becomes the, let's say, thumb of rule, or let's say a very common entrance to the crypto industry, all the other sectors like NFTs, collectibles, and decentralized AI would take place. But it will happen sooner than later.
Okay. I think that's a great answer. And all I want to add is that even now we see services like Dharma that allows you to buy to buy tokens from Uniswap using your US bank account, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And that's quite crazy. I mean, while you've
That's
got
great, no? I mean, that's really, I mean, that's a really simple way to do it, but it unlocks a lot of potential for people who wanted to invest in the cryptocurrencies, right? Right from your bank account.
Yeah, for sure. So we've got a few more questions if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Andromeda continues. It seems to me they will try everything to push this further away as data is their way of monetization. Yep, probably that's a good point.
Let me get on the YouTube as well so I can see the questions myself.
Yeah, sure. The point is that corporations are using data collected from their users' activities to monetize it.
So with the big, so this question is about the big corporations, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is, here it's not only about the big corporations, right? So there is also an education in your data rights needed, right? So there's also something that we are trying to do by partnering with different organizations where they help you understand your data rights and everything like that. Once this comes from the bottoms up, when people start realizing that they are being the product of these big corporations, right? The free services are not really free. Then I think the pressure will come from within, and then there will be a lot of changes. For example, you can see right now with EU and Gaia X, right? I mean, they are right now working towards creating a proper proper infrastructure for data sharing within corporations and within individuals, and we will see more incentives or initiatives like this in the future.
I really hope so. Because living in a world where like so much power is concentrated in the hands of few people on top of those corporations is not a good idea.
It's really not a good idea.
So
And
that
also, it's not only the corporations, right? So apart from the corporation, you don't know, I mean, who is watching you, who is accessing your data, right? These corporations are also sharing this data to some secret organizations from the government, and you don't want people to access your personal data, your personal life.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I guess it's a great uh, moment to stop this podcast. Oh, one more question. Okay, I'm sorry about that. So it's for me. Could you discuss about the different data that will be offered by Robonomics? Uh, Pollution levels from sensors and use cases from that data that could be onboarded onto ocean market. Yeah, sure. Well, regarding the data sensors, um, well, first of all, when we're talking about the smart factory that is collecting data from robotics devices that are working on it, they can, you know, privately sell that data on ocean and thus get extra revenue stream from the smart factory itself, because other smart factories will buy those data sets to improve their processes, right?
They can use their AI algorithms.
Yeah.
End up using the data from ocean and improve their processes and their models.
Exactly. And about pollution levels from sensors, that really depends on the use case. If we are talking about just air pollution, I don't see really much use cases of monetizing that, because in my personal opinion, data about the air pollution and water pollution should be free and offered to researchers from academia to, you know, use it in their researches for free. And now it's pretty, you know, complicated to get a trustworthy sources with the history of the data, while with the Robonomics solution it will be possible to, you know, have
I'll just jump into this topic of air pollution and water pollution. So this data is also like important in the smart city initiative, right? Because these cities want to reduce the traffic, yeah, and also reduce the pollution, for example, on their in the city-wise, and make it more easy or make it more beneficial for the citizens. And we have seen some requests regarding this from the cities that we were talking about. I cannot say the names, but yeah, this is a valid use case in the smart city era.
Yeah, thank you for the input. That's I completely agree on that. And besides of the use cases with monetizing data from smart cities, there are also other ways to do that. For example, in smart buildings itself, when you are like getting on the lower level, when upper level is the smart city itself, you can also talk about more local solutions like personal smart home or
Yeah, that's also like let's say a connected use case to air pollution, and right. I mean, the sensors in your home, for example, right? They can also like let's say provide various inputs regarding the cleanliness of the air, and also like improving those, for example, right? And the data, or let's say the insights generated from the pollution data, can be fed into these sensor devices to improve the temperature, or let's say some regulations or some inputs for the sensors.
True. And as per the biggest stream of data that could be monetized, I personally think that small factories are just one of the use cases, and that won't be the biggest stream of data. And it will really depend on how we will on which use cases we will have better synergy with the real world itself. And I guess that in the upcoming, in the nearest future, that will be data streamed from sensors in smart cities, for sure. And IoT devices, of course. Well, I don't see any further questions. Maybe, Manan, you want to bring something else up?
No, nothing from my side. I think we had a very productive discussion, and I think I covered like most of the areas that Ocean right now is focusing on.
Yeah, for sure, and a lot of food for thoughts. Thank you very much for attending this podcast. And
Thank you for having me. And I mean, I was browsing through the Discord channel, and I see like great conversation happening in the
yeah,
Discord.
that
Yeah,
happens.
I like, yeah, I like what I see, and yeah.
I'm really looking forward to collaborating with your team on our researches.
Same here, same here. All right, guys, thanks for watching and thanks for having me here.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening, I guess.
Yeah, it's evening done.
Okay.
All right then.
Yeah, cheers.